The United Nations has described Nigeria as an escalating hotbed of conflict, violence and human rights violations. The UN Special Rapporteur on Extrajudicial Killings, Summary or Arbitrary Executions, Agnes Callamard, made this known in Abuja as she shared her findings with the press following her engagement in the country. Callamard said the government's resolve to address worrisome findings have been inadequate, as many of the issues breeding violence and conflict between ethnic groups have not been addressed in the last 10 years. She also expressed worry over use of excessive force by security agencies and innocent Nigerians and reports of human rights violations by security personnel.
Nigeria needs urgent action to end the pressure cooker of violence which is claiming thousands of lives. According to my preliminary findings, Nigeria is a pressure cooker of internal conflict and generalized patterns of lack of accountability that must be addressed urgently, with issues like poverty and climate change adding to the crisis. The overall situation I have found is one of extreme concern. The absence of accountability is on such a scale that pretending this is nothing short of a crisis will be a major mistake. And if ignored, its ripple effect will spread, in my view, throughout the sub-region, given the country's important role in the continent. And of course, if ignored, the major primary victims will be the most disenfranchised and vulnerable populations in the country.
Yes, here with me is Mr. Niyi. It's a pleasure having you. Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
The United Nations Special Envoy have indicted Nigeria, citing that Nigerian state is a hotbed of escalation of human rights violations, conflicts, and abuse of fundamental rights of the citizens of this country.
I think that is absolutely spot on. Nigeria, as it were today, have no value for human rights. Nigeria today does not respect the human rights of the people. Nigerians today, their police force, their customs, their soldiers are in every way and manner, they are barbaric. They do not care about they don't care about your justice. Nigeria in itself is operating what we call sheer impunity. A state where people will be adjudged for nothing insignificant. A country whereby those who are corrupt, those who are openly looting away the resources of the country are let free. Meanwhile, just a citizen for condemning government ineptitude and incompetencies is being incarcerated. Look at what happened to Isaac Bristol. Isaac Bristol, which is the guy of Pidom, Nigeria, this guy was incarcerated for how many days? For over 3 weeks, going to 1 month, because he exposed the inadequacies in the government of the day. And meanwhile, Betta Adu, who had allegedly stole over 300 billion in a space of 3 months, was let go. And yes, the United Nations are absolutely spot on. And this is why the Nigerian government is not taking serious anywhere. Let me tell you what's going on to Nigerians in Libya today. The Nigerian Super Eagles are literally locked down in the Libya abandoned airport, and CAF is not even showing any sign of concern because they don't care about Nigeria, because Nigeria does not warrant to be cared for. Nigeria has become the headquarters of abuse of human rights. Since the inception of this current president, the level of impunity has surged. You will see a Burna Boy arresting someone because they castigated him. You see a politician locking a common citizen up in CIA. You just see that people are just getting missing. There's no respect for freedom of speech. There's no respect for human rights. Nnamdi Kanu, whom we thought perhaps that if this guy comes on board, maybe they might look at this. If you want to charge him, charge him. If you are going to let him go, let him go. Moreover, this guy has won this court case. But again, Tinubu said they should return the case back to Beta Nyako. The same Beta Nyako that said that she is no longer interested, that they should take it to the Attorney General. Tinubu said let them take it. They have now turned the life of the people. They are now playing soccer. They are playing street soccer with the destiny of the leader of some important people in the country.
Of commitments, they're just paying lip service to that, and the level of subjugation, killings, and assault on humanity is something that cannot go on. And someone Ekpa is citing this position, informed his actions, of course, to liberate his people from such level of oppression and subjugation, which today Simon Ekpa said he has been vindicated, that the United Nations have come and have read their findings and affirm his positions that the killings and the violations of the fundamental rights of humans, and describing Nigeria as a hotbed of escalation of violence, killings, and abuse of fundamental human rights.
Adding Nigeria and human rights in the same sentence is an aberration. It's almost impossible. You don't mention Nigeria and human rights. They don't go hand in hand. You don't see people who love human rights, preserve, conserve. You don't see them excel in Nigeria. It is the people who abuse the human rights that get to the top level in Nigeria. The likes of MC Olomo, right? The likes of those talks, the likes of Bello Matawale. These are the people that they come out and call their people evil. Matawale called his fellow Zafara, he called them evil, unruly. He said that they deserve to get whatever they get. This is a former governor. All agitators have been vindicated. Simon Ekpa, Nnamdi Kanu, all past agitators saying that Nigeria needs to break up, starting from our forefathers, Awolowo, Nnamdi Kanu, or whatever, they've all been vindicated today that Nigeria is not an entity that should exist. Because Nigeria was not built on a foundation of human rights justice. People did not have their equal say. This setup is lopsided, where the North unjustly have that subversive right above the South. Is it not evident that Nigeria today is only thriving because of injustice? If we are going to have just cause, rule of law, human rights sustained, where everybody can have their say, Nigeria is not going to last one day. If you have someone who respects the rule of law, takes that seat, and call for a referendum, and all the senators toe that line of justice, I am telling you, Nigeria will not last one day. But Nigeria continues to exist because of what we call subversion of the common man. I don't think if they will ask any Yoruba man or an Igbo man today that we are now a just nation, should Nigeria remain the way it is, or we go back to our pre-1970s era where we have the old Eastern, I don't think they will not hesitate it. They will say it before Jack Robinson that yes, there will be an overwhelming yes to that.
Now, Nigeria is a signatory to the United Nations, and of course, the sovereignty of Nigeria is not considered to be absolute. It's the United Nations that gave Nigeria the independence, the sovereignty. Now that the same United Nations have indicted Nigeria, describing it as a hotbed of escalation of violent killings and abuse of human rights. And the commitment on the part of the government to address these abuse excesses, of course, has been compromised. They are not sincere in this position. So, what do you think that could mean to the Nigerian government? Is it an end? Already judgment, imagine being passed by your headmaster.
I think it is clear, even the England, the colonial masters, the United Nations don't take Nigeria serious anymore. There was an election that was held at the United Nations meeting the last time that Shetima went to. There was an election that was held for Nigeria to be included in something. Nigeria got the least vote. Nigeria got 3 votes. Nigeria was even, let me tell you, Ghana got more consideration than Nigeria. That is the level of fall, of descent. How terrible, how low Nigeria has become. Let me repeat, Nigeria today is being captured in Libya. Not just Nigeria, Nigerian superstars. I'm telling you right now, it is a fact. As at this morning, since on Sunday, 13th of October 2024, they landed in an abandoned airport. Libya told them to go there. Libya didn't care to send them an emergency team to evacuate them. If you go all over the social media, Nigeria, because of that cause, have withdrawn themselves from NFF. But nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody is crying. Nobody is moving.
Humiliation upon humiliation.
Let me tell you, I think Nigeria, the imminent, the self-destruction of Nigeria is so near. Since the emergence of this president, the destruction, the implosion, the indications are becoming clearer by the day. And I think this is what we want. We need to implode because we are not moving forward. You know, because the United Nations themselves have seen that this experiment has overlived its lifetime and they need to disintegrate. But because of some certain elements in the north who, for the oil wells that they benefit from, they do not want that peaceful disintegration. You know, this is why you see that they are funding the herdsmen, penetrate here, infiltrate here, so that when it gets to that time, they already have what? Warlords on ground. But again, now the South are now enlightened. They now see it. But in that cause, the Biafrans are leading, by the way. But the Yoruba also are also now seeing the light of the day that no, that this unity is actually the biggest fraud in the existence of humankind.